Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Tonight we're going to be doing the May monthly love reading for the sign of Scorpio, the water sign of Scorpio. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with the Romance Oracle Angels deck. And then we're going to go to the Rider-Waite deck, the traditional Rider-Waite deck. And then we're going to go to the Aleister Crowley THOTH deck, okay, for clarifiers. So thank you so much to those of you who've already subscribed and watched and commented on my videos. It's so exciting. This is a new endeavor for me. So I really appreciate all of you who've reached out to me. Thank you so much. And if you resonate with the reading tonight, this is for anyone who has Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus in Scorpio. Then please comment below, send questions, sound off. Tell us what your experience is and how the message resonated with you, and share it with the community. All right, so let's get into it. I've been meditating for some time already on you guys, you Scorpios. Love Scorpios, such an intense sign, intense water sign. So yeah, I've been shuffling all of the decks and meditating on you for quite some time. And yeah, I'm feeling good things for this reading. Let's see what's going on for Scorpio for the month of May. What Scorpio is looking forward to in love for the month of May. Those born the end of October through November 20th. Sign of transformation. Show us what's going on. Show me, Scorpio, May 2019. Show us. Retreat. Wow, okay. Show me. One more. Heart-to-heart conversations. All right, retreat and heart-to-heart conversations. Wow. So that's what we're looking forward to, Scorpio. It's time to disconnect from the world and honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So that's what we're looking for. Wow, how interesting. Retreat. That's always retreat is always good. It's time, it's time to reflect. Wow. And conversations. Communication is also always good. Sometimes the retreat can be together, or it can be apart from each other. It can be that you and your lover retreat together from the world, right? You see, here the couple is walking away together. So retreat doesn't necessarily mean retreating from your loved one. Heart-to-heart conversations as well. So something needs to be discussed. Feelings, right? Could be some of you are at a standstill in your relationships because you're not having those discussions, right? So we'll get into that with the reading. All right, we'll have them up there for now. And let's see what it says, what the reading verifies. All right, what's going on for Scorpio? For love, May 2019. For those who have love in their life, we want them to keep it. Those who are looking for love, help them find it. What Scorpio got to look forward to in this May? Show us the things to watch out for, the energies. All right, show us. Show us what's going on. Show me, Scorpio. All right, here we go. Let's see what's going on, Scorpio. Out the gate, the Hierophant. Four of Swords. You're resting. Interesting with that retreat card. 10 of Discs. 4 of Discs. Ace of Cups. Ace of Discs. Wow. What is going on? Scorpio, you got some money coming in. 3 of Swords, 5 of Wands, and 3 of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Discs. So you're juggling, huh? You're juggling right now? Are you juggling between two things? Are you trying to make a decision? You want to keep both? It's kind of, you know, I want my cake and eat it too. I think I can have everything, right? But behind them, the waters are really rough, right? There's rough waters, so take care. Passionate feelings, right? Trying to hold on. 2 of this definitely talks about trying to hold on to two lives. Sometimes it can be indicative of trying to juggle 2 lives at the same time. You know, 2 different lives, 2 different aspects of yourself, a career and a hobby could be, you know, a relationship and a career, you know. So let's see what's going on with these cards. Hierophant started off at 4 of Swords and 10 of Discs, retreat and heart-to-heart conversations. Could be some of you are feeling like perhaps someone is wanting a commitment. Someone wanting a commitment from you, Scorpio, and you're really not sure if you want to make that commitment, right? I feel like this is what the Hierophant is talking about here. I don't feel like this is you, Scorpio. I feel like this is your person, whoever you're involved with. That person wants a commitment, and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to think about this. I'm not sure if I'm ready. You know, I'm not sure if I'm ready. I have abundance already in my life. I have all these things. I don't know if I'm ready to make this commitment and this change. I have what I need, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to give it up in a partnership, Scorpio. I think, Scorpio, somebody's coming in for you, and you're really not sure if you want that level of commitment with them. There is love there. You do love this person. There's definitely love. Ace of Cups is in the middle of the reading. So there's love there. But at the, you know, you're worried about something. I feel like you Scorpios are worried about perhaps the relationship itself. The love is there, but maybe you guys are arguing a lot. Maybe you're not really, you know, this commitment. Something is going on in the relationship. You're not ready to make this commitment. You're on the fence, Scorpio. You're on the fence, and you feel like you don't want to give up all the good things you've worked so hard for. The love is there, but you don't really have faith in the relationship. Is this what's going on with some of you Scorpios? I feel like this is a very specific message about a relationship that you're having that's at the point, perhaps your significant other wants to get married, and you don't want to get married. You don't want to tie up your finances. Or you don't want to move. Perhaps they want to move. They want to take the relationship to a level, right, that's a bit too much for you, that's a little bit more cemented, a little bit more of a commitment, and you're just not ready to do it, I feel, because you're not sure if this relationship is going to last, right? It's 3 of Swords and 5 of Wands. There's a lot of bickering and arguing. This month in May, you're gonna have another opportunity as well in your career to increase. Another real opportunity is gonna come in to increase your abundance even further. So this is definitely for you Scorpios. You know, you're happy with your lifestyles. You've worked hard for your lifestyle. 10 of Pentacles definitely talks about being in a good place and having worked for it, though, right? It's the completion. It's the next step. It could also mean that some of you guys are contemplating the next step now if you did make this commitment. But yet something's nagging at you. The 4 of Discs here is, sometimes I feel like it's protective, but I think in this case, it's really kind of like overly protective. Like you really don't want to jeopardize what you have. You don't want to give it up. You're not sure about this relationship, and you feel like you want to really hold on to what you have already. You know, you're not ready to move in and to share your things with this person, even though the love is there. You're not sure if you guys can make it through actually living together and being together, right? I think this is going to become apparent this month. And as well with these cards, retreat and heart-to-heart conversations, I think you're going to have this heart-to-heart conversation with your significant other about this. I feel like somebody, you know, somebody is wanting something from you, but you're just not ready to give it. And heartbreak is looming. Somebody's going to have their heart broken if you don't have these conversations, I feel. I feel like that's the warning. Like, not the warning, but that is the message here. You know, that, you know, and you need to have heart-to-heart and be honest with your partner about how you feel, and perhaps about your fears as well. Perhaps you two need to go away to discuss this, right? It could be that you both go away to discuss. I don't see the Hermit here, right? And I do see love. Ace of Cups in the middle does indicate that there is a really deep love, right, between the two of you. But, you know, what's love got to do with it? You know, I mean, like, if you're that worried about, you know, if there's that much strife, Five of Wands is a lot of strife. Sometimes it can even mean violence. Sometimes it's petty. It depends on the message in the reading, right? Whatever you get through. But in this scenario, I feel like it's really like a lot of back and forth. Like, you guys, you love each other, but you might be one of these couples that's constantly at each other, you know, picking on each other, at each other. You know, arguing back and forth, and then with the makeup sex, and then arguing, and again with the makeup sex, and it's all great and passionate, but the longevity is not there. And even though one of you want to have that commitment, you, Scorpio, you're feeling like, You know, I think this is definitely you, Scorpio, who's feeling like that. I think your significant other might be the one who's going to get their feelings hurt. Let's do some clarification with the Thoth deck. This is quite interesting. Very specific reading about those of you in specific types of relationships. Contemplating, you know, going forward with this person. What do you do? You know, it could be that if you don't make this commitment, then the relationship is going to break down. Like, it may be an ultimatum that this person is giving you. You know, they may be saying, look, we've been together so many years, right? If we don't get married, I'm ready to move on. Now, this could be vice versa. This could be you as well saying this to your partner. But, you know, when I read the cards, I always read from your perspective. You know, Scorpio, I'm reading for you tonight. So I'm reading from your perspective. You know, how I believe the message is coming in, you know, from you and your energy, right? That's what I meditate on. So I feel like, you know, very much that this is you who's being asked for the commitment, and you're just on the fence about it. You're really not ready. You do feel the love, but there's the bickering there. And certainly if you don't, you know, follow through, it seems like this other person is really ready to move on, maybe. They may be ready to move on, or they may take it as a betrayal, right, and react. We do have the Three of Cups down here coming. So this can mean a lot of things, actually. Three of Cups is a very diverse kind of card, because it can mean third-party energy. It can mean that another person is coming into this. It can mean, you know, that you're reunited, and it's, you know, you're reunited with your love. You're moving on from the Two of Cups, you know. It can also mean a honeymoon period. So it's really different depending on the reading. And I feel like in this particular reading, the Three of Cups, it's like you're looking for, there may be a time in May that once this opportunity comes through, this financial opportunity, you may be feeling better about your relationship, and you may be willing to take your relationship further to that next step. It may invigorate your relationship, which earlier in the middle part of the month, right? Because this is a reading for May, and before now also has kind of been waning, has been troubled. You know, there's been this ultimatum. And it could mean that you guys come to a new understanding later on this month, perhaps if you have these heart-to-heart conversations, and perhaps if you go away. you know, and get away from everybody else. So let's see what the Thoth deck says. It could be that you guys have some outside influences that's making it difficult for you guys to make a decision. All right, give us some clarity on Scorpio from May 2019. Give us some clarity. Give us some clarity. There's a lot going on. Scorpio for May. Alright, here we go. Let's see what the Thoth deck says. Wow, okay. Strife, there we go. Futility and gain. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the card for Sagittarius, right? In the Thoth deck, it's called Art. In most other decks, it's the card for Temperance, right? In the Thoth deck, it's the card for Alchemy. If you can see that, she's performing alchemy there. Merging fire and water to create something completely transmuted and manifest in a totally different form. Right? So it's the integration of ourselves, the tempering of our most polar opposites to come up with an integrated version that's so much bigger than the sum of our parts. It's elevation, it's creativity, right? All right, so that's at the bottom. Temperance. Temperance. Time, taking time, digging deep. Right? Using your own memory, your own experience to show empathy and understanding. All right, so the clarifiers up here, this is quite interesting. Up here you have the Lust card. It's the Leo card between the Hierophant and the waiting period. Right? It's the card for strength. But in the Thoth deck, it's also the card for lust. But it's talking about, you know, overcoming our ego, overcoming our baser kind of sides. Our more carnal sides. So that's why it's called the lust card in the Thoth deck. It can be like, you know, just, you know, if you've been a player, you're a womanizer, you know, or a man-eater, you know, tempering those type of sides of ourselves, you know, the side that's very lustful, the side that, you know, is prideful. You know, the ego side of ourselves, you know, where we just feed our own ego, when our actions feed our own ego. So this card is kind of a challenge for us to, you know, get over our egos, you know, get over ourselves a little bit. And it can be here, coming in here, you know, this weight, this inability, or this not inability, but this, you know, unwillingness to make this commitment. You know, it can be saying, hey, listen, what's this really about? Is it your ego? Is it really about money? I mean, if you really love this person, right? What's really going on here? It can also mean that for some of you, you know, letting go will help you make that decision. Letting go of some of your most, you know, like, if you're the type of Scorpio who usually has a lot of partners, you know, or you're the type of Scorpio who's just not a one woman or a one man Scorpio, right? Letting go of that side of yourself, you know, digging deep into why, you know, why are you like that, you know, and why are you holding back from a commitment? You know what I mean? Maybe you really do want this commitment. So it's a challenge to dig a little deeper and be sure of what we really want. Do we really want to, you know, continue to have shallow relationships, you know, or are, you know, at some point, you know, are you willing to get over that to go a little bit deeper, right? Ten of Wands here as well, oppression. You know, Ten of Wands really talks about like, just being like dogged, tired, you know, oppressed. It can be that some of you have really been like, there's been a lot of arguing about this back and forth with your partner. You know, it's really been wearing you down. You know, it's just, and some of you Scorpios, instead of arguing back, you're just kind of freezing. You just won't respond. You know, some of you feel like, oh, you know, I don't know if I can make it in this relationship anymore. You know, you really feel like you want to pack it in altogether. Like I said, I feel like there might be a heartbreak. Some of you really have to look, you know, this relationship, if the relationship is really based on money, or if the relationship is, you know, I don't think it is based on money. I think you just generally don't get along. You guys love each other, but you don't actually get along with each other, which can happen in relationships. The five of wands has come up. The five of wands is down here as well. So strife. There's a lot of strife. There's a lot of strife in this relationship. It could be that there's really just a lot of arguing. You know, this can almost be on borderline abusive, you know. And of course, if you're in anybody who's in like an abusive relationship of any kind whatsoever, you know, I would urge you to go get help right away. You know, I am in no way like able to, you know, talk about that, but it just suggests that this relationship is really, really full of a lot of like angst and just really bad vibes, bad communication, bad energy. You know, and that's really oppressive. You have seven of cups here as well, so debauchery. So it's just like, you know, you've been pouring out so much, you know, and it's just not enough, you know, right? It's just being eaten up, and it's like, you know, it's too much of a good thing, right? But it turns rotten. It turns kind of bad because there hasn't been any kind of creativity. See, so this is where the Sagittarius card comes in. You need creativity, inspiration, open communication, right, to keep a relationship alive, right? And the water eventually gets really, if you can see that, the water just gets really murky and it's really gross. It's just not, you know, you're at a point where you're just unsatisfied with your relation. You know, you're getting to the point where you're just like unsatisfied with your relationship. You know, this can be like one of those relationships where you're not having sex anymore. You know, you've been together and it's like you've not even been together for years and years and years, but because of all of the arguing and strife, you're actually even not feeling passionate with this person anymore. You're not feeling that, you know, spark of love anymore. You know, and it's hard for you to see how you can move forward with this Ace of Cups. You're trying to hold on to kind of what you have already. I feel like that's what this Ten of Wands is talking about as well. And also this Four of this. You're really trying to hold on, perhaps some of you Scorpios, because you did love this person so much at one point. But you're just starting to feel like it's futile. You know, it's just futile. You just can't do it anymore. It's like you've tried everything. Seven of Swords just talks about, you know, you've tried everything. You're stuck. You just can't, you know. You know, you've tried every tactic, you know, to get through, to communicate, to get the sword to be really like, you know, a true, straightforward sword. It just keeps getting cut and nicked on all sides. Nothing is working. You know, you just feel dog tired. Ten of Wands can talk about, you know, it's completion as well as tens. It's the end of a cycle. Sometimes Ten of Wands talks about, okay, pushing through, you've persevered, right? And that last little hurdle, right? But, you know, do you have the strength to get through, right? And that's how you're feeling. Sometimes it's just like, oh, you know, it's not so much about having the strength to get through, but should you really carry on with it, right? If it's that. So then this is where the heart-to-heart conversations come in, because a lot of this is energies. There aren't that many swords here. There's mostly like wands. There's wands, and the cups and discs. But swords, so there's definitely a lack of communication, which could help possibly. But I feel like somebody is headed definitely for a broken heart. And I feel like it's your significant other, Scorpio. You know. Now, but there is coming gain. Three of discs, right? And that's gain. That's going forward, moving forward. Seeing some reward, starting to see some reward for your work. Not all of the reward, but some of it. And you know, going from there, working on that. It's interesting that that card will be here on this corner, the Ace of Pentacles corner and the Three of Cups. So these are threes. Threes are divine in terms of starting. It's the Trinity, right? Holy Trinity as well. So, you know, I feel like there will be an opportunity this month, Scorpio, a very real opportunity that's going to kind of maybe give you a chance to either turn this around, or you may really just meet someone else, or have, you know, there's going to be some kind of real tangible offer, right? That will increase your material well-being, right? So your lifestyle, your wages, or anything like that to do with your career, your passions, and, you know, what puts food on the table, right? But this opportunity coming through, I feel like it will either reinvigorate your relationship, right? If you have this heart-to-heart, and you'll feel like maybe you guys are starting all over again a bit, right? You can start over again a bit and cut through some of this. Or it could lead you to a whole new opportunity. And then you would be in a third person situation, because all of this certainly hasn't finished up yet. I mean, you're in the middle of the storm here, trying to decide what to do. Especially to see the Two of Pentacles here. That's trying to decide what to do, juggling, trying to decide. But you're feeling quite oppressed, and I feel like these cards definitely are like, you know, are telling you or are advising you strongly, you know, you guys need to, if you're in this kind of relationship with somebody and the love is there, but the arguing is there, the miscommunication is there, you're kind of at the verge of breaking up, you know, and there's money involved, there's serious decisions involved, but you just feel oppressed. Sometimes retreating as a couple. Sometimes going away on your own is good too, but I feel like retreat is really talking about as a couple. Take time to get away from your normal surroundings, and it could be that just the pressure of your normal everyday lives has got you in this kind of rut where you guys have really been bickering and arguing and fighting and miscommunicating, and you know, now the sex is gone too, you know, it's like, oh God, you know, should we, sometimes if you don't fix a relationship like that, or you don't take the time out to care for your relationship, you have to care for your relationship as if it's, you know, it's its own entity in a way, right? You care for it, right? You take time out for the relationship, right? But sometimes when you go down this track, and you don't retreat, you don't take time out to better your relationship, the relationship ends up falling apart, and all it really needed was time away and communication, right? It just needed you to take time off and to talk to each other. I have known a lot of different couples, different types of couples, in my life. And I'll tell you something, the couples that I knew that had been together for 20 and 30 years always took time out for their relationship. They took time out, you know, for each other, but it was for the relationship, you know, it was away from other people, and just to be together and to do things together, you know, and to talk and to communicate, so that their relationship, the way they related to each other, just continued to deepen and deepen. And they would get, you know, they would work through their problems this way, you know, their issues or their miscommunications, because not every couple is perfect, you know. So, wow, Scorpio, this month you got a lot to do. You got a lot on your plate, some of you. I wish you the best. Really, take time out and, you know, take time to communicate. Take time out if you can. You know, I understand holding on to everything you've worked for, but if the love is really there, if you really love this person, you feel like it's worth it, before everyone gets their feelings completely hurt and it falls apart, take some time out. And then also, of course, look out this month for this opportunity coming through, right? Look out for this opportunity coming through that might be able to help you turn this around a bit better for your relationship, or it may bring in something else, right? That's going to just make you feel better and make you feel like you're progressing, right? Could be a third party, but the warning, of course, is there. that you always got to handle your previous business before you move on to a third party, all right? So I hope this resonated with you guys today. I love you, Scorpios, so much. You're such wonderful people, very, very deep people. If you've never stared into the eyes of a Scorpio, I suggest you put it on your bucket list, because they are indeed one of those people that can undress your soul with their eyes. So I love you guys so much. I know you can make it through this month. Do what's best for you and those around you. All right, and take some time out. Some of you take some time out for you and your loved ones to be together and have those heart-to-heart conversations. If this resonated with you, please comment below, like, subscribe, and share. Help me grow my channel. This is Bow and Arrow Tarot. Private readings are available, and the information for that is also down below. And for now, I'm just going to say to y'all, for May, you Scorpios, I love you so much, and goodbye.